fucking days away from UFC 321. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane, the biggest heavyweight fight in so long. Fuck all that John Jones shit. The last massive heavyweight fight was Cyril Gane versus John Jones. This is going to be the new era almost. Literally, this fight is absolutely huge, and I am fucking buzzing for it. Abu Dhabi, UK time. I'm gonna be fucking loving this. Big T's back in the cage, and it's going to be a very interesting one. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting one. So this fight has been like for the last maybe 4 years. Cyril Gane versus Aspinall has been kind of like the talking point of the heavyweight division. Like, these two on a collision course, and it's not like I didn't think things matched up, but I feel like there was I wouldn't say Tom ducked Gane. I feel like Gane definitely ducked Tom, but there was a stage where I was like, I don't know if Tom wants to fight Cyril Gane, because I'll bring you back to London, and this is some lore for you. Cyril Gane was in the crowd in London when he fought Volkov, and he was saying beforehand he would love to fight Tom and stuff like that, and it was like this massive, massive fight. And then Tom called out Tai Tuivasa. He called out Tai Tuivasa. And back in the day, I had a little bit of animosity towards that. I was a bit like, Cyril Gane was right fucking there. Why didn't you call him out? But then, fast forward, I think it was like a year and a half, Gane does the same thing, and everyone's like, holy shit, he's ducking Tom. And I'm like, he did the same thing. But all in the past, we're here now. Cyril Gane spams his unlimited title shot glitch for the last time. And I think this is going to be the last time we potentially ever see Cyril Gane fight, because this will be, he's got a shot at an interim belt. He had a shot against Ngannou. He had a shot against Jones for the vacant belt. And now he's getting a title shot against Tom Aspinall. So this will be his fourth UFC title shot, third undisputed. How many times do we see that? Extremely rare. But I'm going to be picking Tom Aspinall to knock out Cyril Gane in the first round. And a few talking points here, obviously. The first one, if you're picking Gane, I'd actually really love to know what fights you've been watching the last couple of years that you're really comfortable and confident that Tom is a good stylistic opponent, to where Gane's going to be able to find the shots, to where he's going to be able to land this, that, and the fourth. What have you seen? And more importantly, what have you seen from Aspinall's game do you think Gane can do that? I saw one fucking clown online play a 2 second clip, 1 second clip of him, throwing like a combination against Curtis Blades that didn't exactly look good. Funny, you don't show the knockout, you don't show the Volkov performance, you don't show the Pavlovich performance. There is a questions about Tom. I'm not denying that. There is questions about Tom. We don't know how good Tom is later on, but that's because we know how good Tom is. We know how good he is. He blasts through people like we've never seen before. His speed is something special. That is something Gane has never fought. Let's not forget, Tai Tuivasa dropped Cyril Gane in the first round. That is a cold, full fat fact. And if Tai Tuivasa can drop you in the first round, I'm quite confident Tom Aspinall, with the speed he has, is going to be able to find the shot in the first round. Now, Gane can definitely show humanity in Tom. Gane can definitely show us, okay, maybe Tom isn't great at range. Maybe Gane's finding shots in the first round, and maybe Tom rugby tackles him and gets him down and then submits him. Possible. Because we know Cyril Gane's got weak. The thing is, I wouldn't even say Cyril Gane's got weak grappling, actually. Cyril Gane's grappling is definitely his weak point. That's what I was trying to say. But, he's got a leg lock game. Cyril Gane stuffed all the takedowns against Spivak. Now, Spivak isn't exactly the upper echelon of the heavyweight, but he's a good wrestler in the division. So I wouldn't, and he took Ngannou down in the last round, and if he didn't go for a leg lock, he would have been able to actually beat Ngannou by just sitting on top. So I thought Cyril Gane won that fight anyway. So Cyril Gane is absolutely one of the best fighters in the division, but so was Pavlovich, so was Blades, so was Volkov. These were all top of the division, and Tom just made them look, like they were bottom end. Like these guys were sluggish heavyweights that were in the past, like Jones and Stipe. Tom versus Jones is one of those fights that it's probably a bigger what if than Khabib Tony, in my opinion. I think that's the biggest what if in UFC history. Like, I fucking hell is absolutely knocked out my fucking mic. I think that is literally just the best fight the UFC could have made at the moment. But unfortunately, we're not getting the big fights in the UFC anymore. Now, this is still a massive fight, but I definitely think the hype is a little bit dimmed. I'm still so fucking hyped for this. Like, I'm really, really excited because this has been the biggest heavyweight fight for a long time. Apart from before Jones versus Aspinall, this was the fight for me. This was the one I would love to see. And I feel like Tom's going to get this one done. I'm not betting on Cyril Gane after he lost to Volkov. I know he won, but we all can agree it was a robbery. I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen improvements from Gane to be able to pick him. I haven't seen enough weaknesses in Tom's game. I have to go with what I know, and that is Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the planet at the moment. And I feel like, listen, I feel like Gane can land. I feel like Tom's chin is definitely a question. He's definitely got openings on the feet. He's got that chin wide up in the air. So I can definitely see how good of a kickboxer Cyril Gane is, being able to find a jab early, maybe be able to find some kicks. But I really question, can Gane get in the inside? Can Gane handle the speed that Tom has? What if Tom shoots for a takedown and gets him down? Now I am nervous because I just want Tom to finish him early. That's all I want. Is that too much for a guy to ask for? I just feel like I just feel like I don't even know. I'd rather him lose to Curtis Blades than to Cyril Gane. I think Cyril Gane as the heavyweight champ is actually the most tragic ending. It's the bad ending. If Tom chins him in the first round, let's say Tom does actually end up chinning him, that's more impressive than submitting Cyril Gane. Because you're beating him at your own game there. No one's been able to knock out Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane lost the decision and Cyril Gane got submitted. No one's ever knocked him out. People have knocked him down. Taiju Vasa knocked him down. So I don't know. I just think Tom's going to be too quick. I think Tom's going to be able to find the shots. And I got Tom Aspinall winning this fight. And I think it's going to be so important for Tom to win to really start his legacy. To not, like, Gane winning just clogs the heavyweight division 10 years. It just brings it back so much, Gane winning. And like, it just sets it back so much. And then we have this whole thing of, well, imagine what Jones would do to this guy. Like, of course, all those fucking John Jones fanboys are going to say that because they have no brain cells. If there's any John Jones fans left, but official prediction from the MMA preacher is a first round TKO for Tom. And that's what I'm going to be going with here. Next up, we have Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern versus you know what? Yeah, I'm not even gonna Mackenzie Dern versus Rana Jaradia. I mean, is anybody hyped for this fight? Is 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 anybody hyped for this fight? I'm just kind of like, I don't really care at all. Like, Mackenzie Dern's got good jiu-jitsu, and she's obviously extremely fucking. I'm gonna be picking Mackenzie Dern, but to be honest with you, I genuinely have no interest in this fight. It's just gonna be another boring one to keep us waiting for the main event. So yeah, I have no, like, bro. I'm actually looking forward to Zhang Weili versus Valentina Shevchenko. That fight I'm actually really looking forward to. That's actually going to be a generational WMA fight. But these fights, I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. I didn't even know Umar was that much of a favorite up until this moment, but yeah, I'm gonna be picking Umar. The whole Umar thing is quite fascinating to me because I think Umar is actually better than Merab. I genuinely believe Umar would beat Merab in a rematch. I genuinely believe that. And the thing about this fight is Umar will win this fight. I think this is quite a textbook style fight for Umar. Mario Batista's got good control and stuff like that, but how can you really like this guy after what he did that to you? But the fucking thing is, actually, now that it's brought me up, Morab did the same fucking thing to Jose Aldo, but people just let that slide. They don't seem to care. They don't seem to care that Morab held Jose Aldo up against the cage for his retirement fight and snitched on him retiring. Nobody seems to give a fuck about that. But when Batista does it, it's this cardinal sin number one that he's like he's murdered Jose Aldo. He's literally stripped away everything he's ever worked for. And I'm just like, bro, if you knew the Marab I know, then you would know that's bullshit. But Umar will definitely win this fight. I think Umar is going to be able to definitely light him up on the feet. Mario Batista's, he's got good control and he's definitely got decent grappling. I don't see him being able to hold down Umar. I think Umar is. See, I can't say Umar is the best bantamweight in the world, but I saw too much in the Marab fight, skill wise, for me not to pick him in a rematch. And first championship fight, he didn't really have 5 round experience. He went 5 rounds with Corey Sandhagen and stuff like that, but he never really was in these big positions. I feel like he's going to learn from that, and I feel like Umar is just better than Marab, way more skill, and I actually quite like Umar. Am I doing who actually likes Umar? I actually really like Umar, and he definitely doesn't deserve a title shot of beating Batista. I thought they could have done maybe Umar O'Malley, maybe. I see the O'Malley versus Song Yadong thing. I saw, but I haven't seen anything about that in fucking ages. So God only knows if that's true. But Umar's going to be able to light him up on the feet. I don't think Batista's going to be able to take him down. I feel like he'll probably get frustrated in this fight as well, shooting kind of weird takedowns. Umar will kind of just be able to maneuver and look extra good on the feet and extra good with the takedowns because Batista's getting kind of not tired but getting frustrated with it. He's not going to be able to land and stuff like that. So I think Umar is going to win this fight. I would love to see Umar versus Yan. That would have been a sick fight. I think Umar would beat O'Malley as well. I just think Umar beats them all. Marav's the only one, but I feel like if he had 5 more minutes of cardio in that third round, he would have beaten Marav because he took the first two. And the fifth round was close. The fifth round was close. Let's not forget this. So I'm going to be picking Umar in this fight. I would love to see Umar with the belt because I'm an Umar fan and I'm actually a big fan of his style. Big fan of his style. Really like Umar's striking. As much as he doesn't really finish fights, I definitely enjoy and appreciate how good he is with his range and stuff like that. He's really a generational talent here, Umar. And I feel like he's born to be a champion and he will become a champion. That's that one. Next up, we have Alexander Volkov versus Jaitan Almeida. Jaitan Almeida is a favorite. Jaitan Almeida is a favorite against Volkov. I'm going to be picking Alexander Volkov in this fight. I'm going to be picking Volkov. I did not know Almeida was a favorite. I thought Volkov would have been a favorite in this fight. I have no idea what the fight odds for this are. I don't even know what Tom is, but I'm going to be picking Volkov in this fight. All I can kind of say is if you go back and watch the Jailton Almeida versus Curtis Blades fight, if you just go back and watch that and you go back and watch Cyril Gane versus Volkov, you will know what I'm on about. I have seen night and day improvement in Volkov. I have seen him improve on the feet, much more planted with his shots, just being able to find them very well, using a lot more of his kicks. And when he does get in range, he's a lot more sharp, improved the takedowns as well. I think he submitted Taito Ivasa, but he was destroying him there as well. So I'm going to be picking Volkov. Almeida is definitely good grappling, but fuck me, Volkov is a fucking big dude, bro. That dude's fucking the real life Drago, and I feel like he'd be able to just. I feel like he's going to knock Almeida out. I thought this was going to be a routine win for Volkov. Like, if you look at how good Volkov looked against Gane that was fucking daylight robbery. That was bad. That was bad. That was one of the worst robberies I have ever seen, bro. How the fuck you give that to Gane? I have no idea. That second round was a fucking disgrace. But Volkov's so good. And I think Volkov versus Aspinall is absolutely the two best heavyweights, in my opinion. And I know, bro, just go back and watch the Gane fight. It was a disgrace. On paper, Gane is number one, but I think Volkov's better than Gane simply because I thought he just lit him the fuck up. And I know Gane is 2 wins over him. Technically, it's 1-1, or technically it's 2-0, but we all know it's 1-1. The first one was close as well, but Almeida's got no striking in my opinion. Heavy grappler, got very good wrestling for the heavyweight division, but I don't think he'll be able to hold Volkov up against that cage. Volkov's a fucking big dude. Volkov's a big dude. I don't really see Volkov get manhandled that often to where I'm going to be able to pick him. And let's not forget, Gelton Almeida curled up and quit against Curtis Blades from shots. He curled up and quit. And, Volkov had that little bit of a bad spree against Aspinall, but he bounced back so much, looking great against Sergey Pavlovich. I picked him to win that fight. That was such a good prediction from me. Cyril Gane as well. I didn't pick him to beat Cyril Gane. I technically got it right, but look at he's improving an awful lot. He's improving an awful lot the last few years. You know, Sergey Pavlovich was this big scary monster not 2 years ago, and Cyril Gane was known as the best kickboxer in heavyweight history, the best striker in heavyweight history, and Volkov made them look both very human on the feet. So I'm going to be picking Alexander Volkov on this one, and I feel like he's going to get it done via second round TKO, maybe a third round TKO. You'll see Almeida start to win, and I think Volkov's going to be able to find the shots. Body kicks Volkov, body fucking kicks. If you're watching this, you definitely aren't. But if you are watching this, body kicks are going to be extremely key to your success, and I'm rooting for you in this one, my brother. Next up, Alexander Rakic. It's been a while since I've fucking seen Rakic actually versus Asmat Murzankov, sorry. I'm going to be going with Rakic on this one. The thing about Rakic is he's a little bit inconsistent, but I'm going to be picking this fight. I don't know much too about Asmat, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with what I know. That's Alexander Rakic. Rakic was, he was that close to beating Yuri Prohaska at 300. He just kind of fumbled and he didn't exactly look great against Ankalaev when they fought. Ankalaev was just too good at range. But I think Rakic will get this one done. I feel like this could be turned into a bit of a striking match. That's why I think Rakic is going to be able to win. I've seen a little bit of Asmat for sure, but I feel like I'll go with what I know, and experience is a big thing for me. So I feel Alexander Rakic is a big one for me on this one. So 15-0 though, and he's Russian. Definitely doesn't fill me with hope. A 5'10" is mad. Nasrat versus Quinn Salkild. The thing about Nasrat is, does anybody like this dude had like a little spree where he took Dan Hooker on short notice and shit like that, but this is one of those fights. I'm not really that interested. I'm not really interested in Ikra and Iskarov either. So for these two ones, I'll go with Nasrat and I go with Ikra and Iskarov. I kind of burn through predictions that I don't really have a mad. Where is he? Where's my underdog? Oh, he's coming. So Ludovic Klein versus Mateus Rabic. I'm going to go with Ludovic Klein on that one again. One of these picks, fire round picks. Mateus Kimilo is going to get it done as well. And Walker, yeah, here we go. Nathaniel Wood, and he's an underdog. He's an underdog, as always. I didn't even need to check. Nathaniel Wood is the greatest underdog in the UFC. Nathaniel Wood is the greatest underdog in the UFC. And I'm going to be picking Nathaniel Wood to win this fight. I always say it. He's the best underdog that you can possibly have in the UFC. He always performs, always wins. It's really weird. You never really see him fight outside of Abu Dhabi or England. I wonder why that is. He fights twice a year and it's both on these cards. And he doesn't really fight the top level competition. I'm not saying that's not his fault. But I've been watching Nathaniel years now, and I haven't seen him make that jump. I've seen Lerone Murphy climb the rankings. I haven't seen Nathaniel Wood done that. Like, you're so good. You're so good, but what the fuck is the holdup? What is the holdup? Is it injuries? They all get injuries. That's not stopping you from climbing the ranks. I know he had fights with like AJ Dodson back in the day and stuff like that, but that was when he was at bantamweight. But since he moved up to featherweight, when did he move up to featherweight? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, probably when he fought Charles Jourdain. Even getting wins against Charles Jourdain kind of ranks you, in my opinion, in the top 15 scenario. So I just never really saw Nathaniel Wood push on, and he's going to be one of those people, the prospect MMA. It's going to be one of those people where I'm like, you really were class. You were so good. And I'm really big fan of Nathaniel Wood. Got a lot of time for this guy. Watch his interviews. I really like this guy. But I would just love to see you take your game to the next level. I would love to see you against like a fucking Edson Barbosa or someone like that, or Josh Emmett or Bryce Mitchell. I think Bryce Mitchell would be a sick fight for you. Or Gene Silva. Like, I would love to see Nathaniel Wood in these big fights, but he just doesn't. I don't know if the UFC just don't want him in it, but he just fights twice a year, and like, I don't know. I would love to see you on an international fight week, prelim against Bryce Mitchell. I would love to see that. I don't know what's taking so long. I don't know what's holding back Nathaniel Wood, but he never kicked on in his career, and it's a real shame. But bet on Nathaniel Wood. He's always such a reliable pick as an underdog, and I'd be picking him in this fight. Chris Barnett is still fighting. He's gonna get fucking chinned. Mitch, I watched you on Tough. I watched you on Tough. You're gonna get sparked as well, and then we have a clear winner in the early prelim. But all in all, this is a good. I give this card a good 7 out of 10. I give this card a good 7 out of 10. Very, very anxious about the main event, very nervous about the main event. I just want to see a good performance from Tom. I want to see Tom win. I think Cyril Gane with the belt is the worst outcome for the UFC just in every scenario about the sport. And I really just don't want Cyril Gane to win. It's not even to have anything against Cyril, but it just ruins the credibility. It just ruins the credibility of the sport. And people have off nights, man. That's the thing about the sport. You could feel class on the Tuesday, and that weight cut could just make you really sick. Now, thank God these guys aren't cutting much weight, but you gotta remember as well, Cyril's been on a movie set. Cyril hasn't been active. Now, neither has Tom. Tom hasn't fought in a year and a half, but we've seen Tom take a year out after an injury as well. Where he's not going to be getting better and knock out Tybura in the first round. We saw him take it on short notice and knock out Pavlovich with an injury. There is evidence there to say Tom Aspinall isn't affected by ring rust. That last fight Cyril Gane had, it's been called one of the worst robberies in UFC history. Against the guy Tom dusted in a round. Like, subscribe, and let's go, Tom.